to another episode of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode
17. Yes, and before we get started, y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Anybody who's been thinking about it or forgot to do it, make sure you go ahead and subscribe now and turn on the bell notification so you can see every time we drop.
Most definitely. Today we have a very special guest in the building with us. He's a husband. He's a father.
Yep.
He's a son.
Yep.
He's a brother. He's a cousin. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, he's a mentor, a businessman, and the owner of T&T Auto Detailing, ladies and gentlemen. Tavon Myers in the building today.
T&T here with you today.
I am the real Red Nose.
And I am Tierra, but you guys know you can call me T.
And this is Reasons. Reasons2Society. Reasons. Reasons.
My name is Tavon Myers. I am the owner and founder of T&T Auto Detailing. We have been existing since 2010 as T&T, but I've been detailing since 2006. So T&T came about in 2010 with the blessing of my pastor allowing us to start out on a church lot first for 2 years. And now we're sitting inside the blessing that Lord has given us almost 9 years later. We're here inside 9029-year-old T&T Auto Detailing.
Yes, indeed. We are here, baby. Thank you very much, because I know you have a busy schedule, you know what I mean, running a business, providing for your family, so we're definitely honored to have you here today.
Right.
You know, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Election time is coming around. Are you persuaded either way, depending on like how your business, like their views on like tax breaks and things like that?
It doesn't really come into any type of play, but we got to get Trump out. So we got to get Trump out.
Anti-Trump.
Whether I own a business or not, no matter how much money I make or whatever the case may be, or anybody that owns a business, you have to make the best decision for your kids and your family.
Right.
And Trump just ain't the one.
Right.
Word up, word
Agreed.
up. Good. So that just takes it to COVID, you know what I mean? Like this the year of the pandemic, you know, and as a business owner, like how did that affect your business?
At first, it was scary, to be honest with you. You know, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was going to happen and things of that nature.
Right.
You know, before we changed the process the way we do it now, we used to do a lot of walk-ins and things of that nature. But then we had to go to social distance, and we had to go to masks, and we had to start sanitizing more. So we had to make some adjustments and make changes to how we flow here. So we went to appointments only, and ever since we've done that, it's actually been the blessed thing that's ever happened. So
my man, you gotta keep it rolling. Gotta innovate, man. You talked on the phone about that.
Right.
You gotta go with the flow. You gotta innovate. You gotta recreate yourself. You know what I mean? That's what they did right here at TNT. That's why they still stabilized, you know, through the whole pandemic. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna take us into the top 3. We want to know what's the top 3 obstacles that you had to face while building your business that got you to the point that you're at right now.
So I think one of my first obstacles was, one, running this business while having a full-time job at first.
Okay.
Wow.
It was challenging because you have to trust your staff and trust that everything's going to get done the way it's supposed to be done when you're not here.
Yeah.
The second one was when we first moved here from the church to here. You know, we stood on the corner a lot, holding up a $10 car wash sign, trying to get people to come in here. And, you know, that was challenging because, you know, I'm the owner. And one thing about when you come to T&T, I hustle and bustle with my staff. So I'm not one of those kind of people that sit back and do nothing. So I'm here, I'm working. A lot of times people don't even know that I'm even the owner sometimes because I hustle with my staff. So the third one would be when I left my full-time job to come here full-time. Was the very biggest obstacle because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew that I had no choice but to make those decisions. And when you're running a business, you gotta just step out on faith and just let it happen. And to be honest with you, it's the best thing that ever happened to you.
Nothing comes easy, guys.
Nothing comes easy. How old your dedication?
Right.
Yeah, baby. I think we're going to go ahead and get into the sponsors. The official brand of Reasons2Society is You Gotta. You can go to www.yagadah.com and you can type in the keyword Reasons and receive 15% off all purchases right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's www.yagadah.com. His new winter apparel is off the chains right now. You know, he still got the hats, the shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, but it's way more right now online. So go and shop You Gotta right now. So with that said, I think we're gonna go ahead and get deep. Let's start off with the humble beginnings, man. Like, what's the first piece of advice you can give to people, like, when you first step out there and want to start your own business?
Well, I've actually been a hustler all my life, the legal way. So to be clear. I've always done things that involve, you know, trying to get myself ahead, not really understand exactly what direction I was going in and where I was going to go. I had a clothing wear business. I've had sweatsuits, socks, things of that nature.
Remember that? What was the name of that line?
It was called 360 Impact.
Yeah, 360 Impact
Limited. Unfortunately, that brand didn't make it due to some circumstances, but, you know, who said it can't come back at some point?
Right.
You know, not really understanding exactly what my life would look like as far as a family, a wife, a father, you know, things of nature, stuff like that. And when I first started out, you know, Tavon was first born, you know, and pretty much 05. Yes, sir. And pretty much Tavon is actually the length of the time of this whole business is how long all this has started.
That's amazing.
So I had no idea washing vehicles was going to be my future and was going to be technically my dream. It kind of just happened and popped up on me and things of that nature. And everything. So I want to shout out my man Digital Castle for providing my shirts that he makes for me. He does all our designs outside and things of that nature. But just putting people around me that's going to help me get the business where it needs to go and stuff like that. And so at the end of the day, you know, it's just, you know, trusting and believing that things will work out. One thing I will say is that when we started at the church, we did a fundraiser there, and it was T&T at that time. And what happened was, I asked my pastor, could we do it on the property full time? And it took him 4 months to respond back to us. 4 months to respond back to us. And it was one word, 3 letters that changed my life forever. And the word was yes.
That's amazing.
This one word can change your whole life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So just think about if you never ask. That's another thing. Sometimes people are scared to ask questions because they're scared of rejection. Just do it. You know, closed mouths don't get fed.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I would like to ask you, because I know that you're a husband first, of course, and then of course you had your 2 boys, and then, you know, your business or whatever, that kind of all goes together. So with that being said, having all of that on your plate, how do you balance your wife? Because your wife and your kids, that's not together. You know, she needs a certain amount of attention, and then of course your children need a certain amount of attention, and then your business. So like, how are you balancing all 3 of these?
So really, family is definitely first in my life. You know, business has to happen. That's what the flow is. That's what brings the revenue in. For me, I just make sure that because now I do appointments, I'm a lot more flexible. I can end my day a little early. Sometimes I can cut out early. Sometimes I can just take a whole day off if I choose to. As far as making time, it is a challenge sometimes because I do have a commercial contract that I do as well. Not only am I here at the shop for almost 8 hours a day, but then I also have to go out and do my commercial contract every night and things of that nature. But the contract is very flexible, so it gives me the ability to say, okay, I'm gonna go straight home today at the work, spend time with family. I get up in the middle of the night and I work right by sleep, and that's my sacrifice to family, is to be home with them during the evening and then wake up in the middle of the night, work, do what needs to be done, so I can make sure I spend time with my family, so my kids know who I am.
Right, exactly. Definitely. A lot of people, I think, when they get their businesses or you work for someone else, you're exchanging your time for money. So you're not really seeing your family, your kid. You might be a judge or a lawyer or whatever, making all this great money to give your family the best life, but you don't have time for them. So none of it really means anything.
Exactly.
You know?
And one of the best things about this business is now my kids actually work with me on the weekends and stuff. So nowadays they know the works of how to clean rims, how to clean cars, vacuum, and do things like that. So my plan and my method is my kids don't have to go out looking for a job. The job is here already waiting for them.
Man.
So I'm grateful that my kids want to work with their father, and I think that's another way we can help and strengthen our relationship with my kids as they get older.
Yes,
and hopefully one day they'll be able to take over this whole enterprise.
Yes, sir. That's the goal.
That's awesome.
That's the end game. That's a beautiful thing, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because we also wanted to know about friends. Like, we all grew up with a certain amount of friends or whatever, and then, you know, they go their way, we go our way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you have to change, like, your friends, or did your friends change? And did you find yourself being around a different group of people that you never thought you would be around as you started building?
Well, I've still have my childhood friends that I talk to and things of that nature. The word friends is very strong for me because you know, you gotta really put the thin line on what friends are, and in these days, friends are not what you think they're supposed to be. And friends not supposed to envy you. Friends supposed to be supportive of you and things of that nature.
Most supportive.
So I changed the F to family.
Word
Because I feel like if you're that close to me, we're family.
Right.
If you're not that close to me, you're just an associate.
Right.
That's just the way I operate. That's how I am. So I don't call anybody friends. If you're close to me, we're family. As far as changing things of that nature, as you grow up, things change automatically.
Most
so it's
definitely.
not like I have to choose to change. Things just change.
Yes.
And I flow, I work, and I do what I do. I don't have a big circle of people that hang around me and things of that nature. I have a lot of people that I mentor, other detailers, other type of businesses and things of that nature. Whoever wants to come to me, wants to know the success of how I am where I'm at today. That's what I do. And I'm open to help people get their business going. I'm open to help them succeed, because one of the first things you have to understand is sowing. And sowing is not always dealing with money and tithing and things of that nature, but sowing and tithing is your time that you put into people.
Right.
And when other people are being or are learning or understanding what you're teaching them, my blessing is their fruit.
Right. And I feel like that's life though. Like you go somewhere, you grow, you become somebody powerful, and then you teach people and bring them with you, and then teach them how to do the same thing to replicate it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, when me and my wife met, you know, I was always an entrepreneur in the mind. Like, I always knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what it was going to be. And now my wife is becoming successful. She's a makeup artist now, and she's developing and building her business and things of that nature. So definitely shout out to my wife for all that she do, and for the 18 years of us being together. So I just thank God that he's working it out. He's making things happen, and he's building not only wealth within us, but he's building within our family.
Yes.
And I thank God for that.
Where do you think this mindset came from, though? You know, it's not like we came from a long lineage of entrepreneurs.
Well, my parents always worked hard. You know, my father worked at a trucking company and put in lots of hours. You know, rest in peace to my dad. He's been gone. Actually, next week will be 10 years he's been gone. So rest in peace to my dad. I appreciate him. I appreciate all that he has instilled in me as a man. You know, my mom's doing well. She worked 2 or 3 jobs all the time. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 jobs, and I never understood why that she worked the way she worked. Yeah. But when we went shopping every Friday, I understood.
I used to love coming over your house for them breakfasts, man. Like the best breakfast was over on Debbie's house, Uncle Andre's house, most definitely. What's your most proud moment of becoming a businessman or stabilizing your business? Like, what made you the most proud?
I think the part that made me most proud is that I have a business, one we located in Randallstown, and I have a business that people love, people like coming to. We have a nice, large clientele. We constantly get new customers all the time. We're 5-star rating on Google, Facebook, everywhere. So, you know, just knowing that you're providing a service to people that they enjoy and they love, and it's making them smile. And the biggest thing for me is seeing that smile on someone's face. You know, you don't always have to have a church, or you don't always have to have a platform to preach and teach on, but my platform is my work, and to see people smile and be happy, that's good for me.
Well, it's definitely.
That's awesome. I guess my next question would be, did you ever face a time where you wanted to quit? Because, building a business is tough. You go through a lot of obstacles. Quitting is always easy.
It's always on the table.
Yeah, it's the best thing you think you could do when you get overwhelmed. So I just want to know, have you ever felt like you wanted to quit? And if you did, what kept you going?
So, yes, quitting was definitely an option. It wasn't the option, but it was an option.
Right.
Sometimes when things get tough, the first thing we think of is giving up.
Right.
And I think that as entrepreneurs, as business owners, you got to fight it through. Let's just say it real quick, like Terminex. I used to work for Terminex, pest control company, shout out to Terminex for getting me where I'm at today. And the thing is that Terminex started out with a guy back in the 1800s doing wood floors. And the wood floors got termites in it. And he developed a treatment that can treat the termite floors. And if you look at Terminex today as a global nation company, every business got to start somewhere. Yeah. So you have to understand where you are, what you are to do, and build off of that. The thing that kept me going was that my family and my kids, and to be honest with you, the fact that I was not going back to a 9-to-5.
Right.
I didn't even know how to operate in a 9-to-5 because I've been doing this for so many years.
Yes.
So I've been 6 years, almost 7 years coming up full time here at T&T Auto Detailing. And I would never turn back for anything else. If anything, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep pushing. Stay tuned. There are more things that are coming soon for T&T. We not only have this shop here, which does window tinting, rims painting, caliber painting, detailing, shampoo levers, anything you ask for we can do here, like restorations, right here in this building, 929 Liberty Road. I have my tint guy here, Triple D window tinting. Shout out to Debo. Appreciate you, dog, being here with me, helping the company grow and things of that nature. So we're just making things happen, and this building's not that big, but we make life happen right here.
I just did the walkthrough, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it in here. I love the whole setup. It's like a family feeling here. You can just, feel the love when you walk through the door,
Yeah. So, if you had to do this all over again, right? And somebody offered you the salary you have now, or wherever you see yourself going, would you do that? Would you take that exchange of money without all the obstacles, or would you prefer to do it just like you did, your journey the same way?
If that question was asked to me 6 or 7 years ago, I probably would have took the option.
Gotcha.
But because I know the future where T&T is going, I would say I'm staying right here. Because now, with being innovative in this COVID world, we're now in the process of creating automatic car washes. So we're going to be dropping some new things out to you soon when all this take place. So stay tuned. T&T is going to do nothing but get bigger than what it is today.
Most definitely. Yeah. So basically you just changed your mindset. You just said you don't even know how you operate in a 9-to-5. Most of us don't know how to operate outside of a 9-to-5. Right. So basically he just dropped a major gem. It's about changing your mindset. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, we just been trained to work, graduate from high school, get your high school diploma, get a decent job, move out the house. You know what I mean? You got to change your mindset, and you setting up things generational for your kids. Like those are major gems right there, major game. You know what I mean? And we salute you. We need a lot more people like you in this community. I don't think black business owners get the honor that they deserve. Within our community.
It was years when I first moved into this building in 2012. I always remember one thing about me: when someone say what I can't do, I can. And I fight through it. I remember this guy had a red car, I don't know what it was, some kind of convertible or something like that. And he got his car washed, and he pretty much told me, he said, yeah, places like this won't last long in Randallstown. And here we are, 10 years later.
Wow. Still where you at? Red car?
No matter what happens to you in your life, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to design, take that best option to push forward. Take that option to make things happen for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one is lying in your hands. If you really want to do it, you got to push to do it. And sometimes people are like, well, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what kind of business I want to have. What is the one thing you enjoy doing in life?
Exactly. That
sometimes
you
it's that hobby
that you enjoy. And nowadays, everything is accessible. If you like to play video games, if that's something that you sit around, find a way to make money playing video games. You know what I mean? Don't just do it just to do it. There's platforms now that you can stream, upload, and people will watch your stuff, monetize, and now you're getting paid for a hobby instead of doing and building up other people's businesses. You know what I mean? So that's just major. What's the difference between a hustle and a business? Like, can you break down the difference in the two? Because a lot of us do hustle. A lot of us have hustles. You have the squeegee boys. You got people that are selling socks, t-shirts. You got water boys. You got all type of people hustling out here. But what's the difference between a hustle and a business?
The difference between a hustle and a business, the hustle is something that you're pushing and striving for daily. You know what I mean? Like, you get out there, you're making it happen, you know, but there's no real goals to it. You know, you just say, if you're a squeegee kid, you just go out there with your bottle of water with a squeegee and you do what you do. After that, you make your little couple dollars, you go about your business, it is what it is. You may not go back out there tomorrow, you may go back out there the next day at the next, whatever the case may be. With a business, you are striving to build. Business build. Hustles don't build. Hustles can be hit and miss. Once it's here, then it's gone. A business is something that you build on. You continue to create, you continue to innovate, you continue to build it to where it needs to be, and a business becomes your future for the next, whatever that next is.
So how important is the paperwork?
Paperwork?
It'll always be a hustle as long as there's no paperwork behind it, right? It don't matter how established you think you are or it seems you are if you don't have the paperwork behind it.
Yeah, so my thing is that, you know, we have a lot of mobile guys out here, not to shoot anyone down and things of that nature, but if you're going to do it, I always say do business right. You know, a lot of people try to duck out the IRS and all stuff like that. They're going to come get you no matter what. They're going to come knocking at your door. They come do whatever they're going to do. These politicians, whatever you want to call them, they are setting new laws daily that are hurting us as a community. And I say us, mean us, you know, on what we can do, what we cannot do. So my thing is that paperwork is important because being legal and running legal is a better way to go than to feel like you're chasing your running. Because at that point, you got that stability behind you. I might owe taxes. I might have to pay this. I might have to do that. But at the same time, I'd rather still be legal and operate correctly, and people would take me more serious, and I can take even myself serious.
Exactly. You gotta take yourself serious before anybody else takes you serious.
How beneficial is like tax write-offs with businesses? Like, does that put a nice smile on your face when you think of I'm starting a business and I have tax purposes later?
Yeah, I would say that it definitely has perks because in a business, you know, the whole point is you're supposed to make revenue. Most people start out businesses and they got this whole notion for the first 5 years you can claim a negative and you're going to reap all these benefits and stuff like that. It's okay to claim negative. Just to be honest with you, T&T has only claimed a negative one time out of the 10 years. And we've been profit every single year after that. So I would say that, you know, writing off things are definitely important. Writing off, you know, your employees, you know, not only do the employees get a W-2, but you get a W-3, those times is written off. You know, uniforms you buy is written off. Everything I do is written off. If I go out to dinner and we're talking about business, that's written off. So writing off is good because it helps your bottom line. It helps show exactly what your profit is and what your profit is not. So it's definitely beneficial to it, but you have to be wise and you have to understand what you're doing. Just don't write off just because you're trying to get ahead, because sometimes you may write off too much.
Amazing.
And at the end of the day, the way RS work is they want to see a continuation. And I've never been audited, at all. And that's because I have the best accounting, I have the best tax people to make sure that T&T stays strong the way we are. And that again goes back to paperwork, having the right people around you to make sure that this business is going to operate and do what it needs to do. So
should somebody who's like looking to start a business start with a tax ID or LLC and all of that stuff first, or should they start trying to like grind their way into a business and then do that?
I would say if it's depending on what the business is. Some business require licenses and things of that nature. Like my wife, she's doing her makeup business and she's doing her makeup line and powder, mascara, stuff like that. A lot of times, there's a lot of beginning paperwork first before you can introduce. Now, a lot of people do go on Instagram, they start selling their product and everything first, and that's fine. But make sure your name is legal, because if someone else come behind you and get that name and go through all the proper paperwork to have that name, now you're standing in jeopardy to losing your business or even your name because you don't own it.
Right.
You can go down to Preston Street all you want and go in there and put a name on paperwork. That means nothing if it's not registered, if it's not trademarked. All that stuff matters. When you see logos and things of that nature, you see that TM, you see that MD, you see that R with a circle in it, you see that C with an O in it.
Gotcha.
Those logos are important because that's letting you know that this brand is licensed and bonded and can't nobody take it. And you want to make sure that whatever you create, it's yours. Yeah. You don't want somebody else to come in and take it from you.
Exactly.
Okay. Would you say it's expensive to get even that started?
Not technically. I mean, the average LLC, I believe, is about $150 to get started. Okay. Of course, you got to pay the $300 every year to keep the name going and things of that nature, because there's a fee to keep the name alive and things of that nature. But there's a lot more ropes. We can cover that on a whole nother
we'll get more
episode, things of nature. But we definitely can get deeper into the cosmetics of how business is physically ran and things of that nature. But yes. I say if you can do it right. When I started T&T, I went down Preston Street and changed the name over from what it was to what it is now, and we've been moving ever since.
My man, that got deep right there. That got real deep. You know what I mean? Then we're gonna go ahead and break the ice. You got any special shout-outs for us today, T?
Yeah, I actually do. So my best friend, Troy Tyson, his sister, Janelle Tyson, has a black-owned business. She does waist beads to embrace healing or whatever. You know, if you're into the waist beads for the fashion or whatever your purpose is with waist beads. She does men bracelets. You guys can check that out. She does custom t-shirts. You can follow her at Culture Beads Collection on Instagram, and I'll drop that. But shout out to you, Janelle. Keep going with your waist beads.
Most definitely. I think I'm gonna shout out a close friend of mine. He just started his own business. It's called On Go Moving in Harlan. He's operating in the Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware area. You know, you call, we move, same day service. I will definitely drop the info right there below. But make sure you check them out. One of the best services in this area right now. What about you, Tay? You got a special shout out for us?
Well, of course, the shout out goes to my wife. She's in the process of developing her makeup line, and also she is a makeup artist underneath of Fabulous Faces by Miss T. So make sure you follow her on her page and everything. She's doing big things. Her makeup line is called Nour's Cosmetics by Nour's, which is French for black. So check her out and everything.
It's on Instagram right now, right?
She has an Instagram page. So again, it is Cosmetics by Nour. Check her out, and also Fabulous Faces by Miss T. If you want to book any events for your makeup, weddings, proms, anything, she can do it. Call her up. If you just want to look beautiful for your husband for that day, get it done.
Get it done.
She'll change your life forever.
Right, check that out. We'll leave that information to you guys.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're about to get into my favorite segment, and if you guys don't know already, that is Pick Your Poison. Y'all ready? I got a good one. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you were told?
Say that again.
Would you rather lose the ability to lie, so you can never lie again?
Gotta tell the truth.
Yep, always gotta tell the truth. Or would you rather be the person that has to believe everything someone tells you?
First one.
Yeah, it gotta be the first one for me. I'm gonna just tell the truth. Just be brutally honest about everything.
I mean, at the end of the day, we Myers. So as Myers, we come from a tight boat. So
just it's a little different over here. Yeah. You know,
we're gonna.
I just can't believe everything somebody tells me. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna look crazy out here.
Can you imagine that though? Like if you really just everything you were ever told was just like okay. There's some people like that. It
is very gullible.
Yeah.
Your life will be destroyed. Your life will be destroyed. But you know, it's cons to always telling the truth too. It ain't like we lie, but we sometimes sugarcoat things, not to hurt feelings. Like certain questions are asked. You know, really want to.
A lot of times too, a lot of people just naturally is in them. they just naturally do it. Like you'll say, "Did you do this?" It's an instant yes when they know they really didn't do it.
That's weird.
So it's something within the culture of us that is just so natural.
Like we're not gonna find it out. You know,
So,
when you find it out, then it's not a big deal.
So
like,
guys,
bro,
let's really think about what we're picking here, okay? So y'all want to tell the truth all the time. So you know how your wife asks you a question and you know you don't want to tell her the truth. You know, think about them questions that women
and
ask.
y'all do a lot of
do I look fat today?
Exactly. Y'all do a lot of setup questions.
Does my butt look fat today? Does it look flat today? However you want to ask your man the question. You got to be honest.
That's just gonna have to be the way it is. Cause I can't just be a gullible person just believing everything that everybody tells me. I'd be all over the place. My life would be destroyed. I can't
So
go
you
for
gotta
that.
tell your wife.
So I'm telling the truth. Just don't give me no
Boss,
setup questions.
everybody.
That's all I'm saying. Just don't ask me questions that you don't
the
really
regular
want the real
question.
answer to.
No.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask all the questions we normally ask, and you have to tell the truth.
You're gonna get it. Straight up.
So we all picking with being able to always tell the truth so that people are not.
The truth will set you free.
It will. All right, guys. So we're about to get into another segment that I like, and that is GTT, and that's Girl Talk with this girl. All right. So I know you mentioned it earlier. You've been married for. Did you say 18 years?
Yeah, we're coming up on 18.
Coming on 18 years.
Woo!
So let's talk about that, because you know that's a long time. We've only been married for 3, together for 10, but that's nowhere compared to.
Y'all still newlyweds too, just so y'all know.
When you get out of the
I guess
newlywed
we consider that.
what is that,
5
like 5
years?
years?
Yeah,
Okay.
5.
Because a lot of marriages
technically
don't
6.
make it past
The 5, right?
So
The 5 years.
I guess we
Yeah.
are technically one.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess with being married or with someone that long comes a lot of change, right?
All
Like
the time.
you're growing so much. Like how have you dealt with that, or have you experienced that in your marriage? Like just, I guess, the growth, because you know before you had kids, you guys were together, and then you had your children. So all that change, that's a lot of change. How do you like deal with that change in marriage?
Well, what happens is, you know, with marriage, it never really stopped changing. It constantly keep growing. It'd be from weight to going fat to getting skinny to gaining muscles, losing muscles, to just enhancing yourself and things of that nature. It just comes with just being able to understand where you are, understanding in marriage how to create those moments when you need to create those moments. Making sure you're making time out for each other, making sure you go on those date nights and things of that nature. That will keep things moving, you know what I mean? Stay intimate.
I think mindset has a lot to do with it as well, right? Because say that you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to do this, you want to travel the world, you want to accumulate this for your family, and your spouse is just not on the same page at all. You know what I mean? So you definitely, like, I think what she's saying is, how do y'all keep it tight? I guess because you guys have the same mindset at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
because you can, you know, years go by, you're headed this way, she's headed this way, so like, no matter how much time that
I
you...
think for us, we have a gel. We have a special magic that just works. And when I decided I wanted to go full time, you know, I asked her, she hesitated for a while. I waited for months for her to give me the okay. And I knew the time was right. And when she said yes to me to do it, I was like, great, let's move forward. You know, now she's starting her business. And I ask this question all the time, even to her, because like now you're about to get your business going, you're doing the makeup and you're doing the selling this products and things of that nature. And of course, she's got to start traveling to do that type of business and stuff like that. So where does that leave us? Where does it leave the business? How do we continue to make time for each other? And we really don't have the real answers to that yet, but it's going to be a working process. And that's what you got to do with marriage. Marriage is something, when things begin to course change, you got to make sure that you're able to stay on track and make sure that you continue to build those levels of time for each other. So when those moments happen where she got to travel, or I might have to stay here long, wherever the case may be, or even when we start building our locations for T&T, you know, we're both going to get busy, but you always got to wind back to where we first started, keep the fire lit, do what needs to happen, go on vacations, and do things that will keep us tight together. But for us, I would say that we have a magic gel, and it just works.
My man.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you think it's really, you kind of answered it though, do you think it's like important to keep, because a lot of people start off a certain way in the beginning,
and
then they just forget about everything that they did in the beginning. Did you ever find yourself doing that, like as a man? Because it's easy to do that.
It happens.
And having to reel yourself back and like, wait a minute, even though I had her for this long, I still gotta.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's times where, we're walking around the mall, we used to hold hands and all stuff like that, boyfriend, girlfriend situation. Then there have been times where it's been hard to do that sometimes, marriage brings a lot of different avenues and things of that nature.
Yes, it does.
But you have to just keep pushing, and like Will said, it's in the mind. So everything is all mind control, and you just have to make sure that you maintain and also be comfortable with yourself. Be comfortable with yourself first, because the thing is that you got a beautiful wife or a nice looking husband. At the end of the day, she's coming back home. And that's the part that matters. Not worrying about how many guys looking at my wife or when out and about, and you got the disrespects out there, things of that nature. But understanding that she's coming back home to me, that gives me a comfort to know I'm good. And on top of that, I got a beautiful wife.
Yeah, you do.
And I mean, you just got a beautiful family, man.
You think of like the Huxtables.
For real.
The Myers, like for real.
Why not?
Yep.
Very salutable.
Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Did you guys like, as cliche as it may seem, did you guys ever like plan your life out? Like, are y'all where y'all thought y'all would be, or are you past where you thought you would be, or did you guys ever sit and like pillow talk and be like, we want to
relationship goals?
Did y'all ever do that? And then like just kind of found each other. And then...
If we did, I don't really remember. Our life was like a train on a track. It's just constantly moving, and ideas pop up and we run with it. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Jason Nelson, that influences us to innovate our minds and teach us what we need to do to move forward. And, when we get in tough places, we fast, we pray. When we need answers and things of that nature, we come together and we do it together as a family so that we can make sure that we're growing where we need to grow. So we don't just make impulse decisions. We make decisions together.
Right.
And I think that's what really helps us.
Okay. And with the boys, like, being brown in America, living in the city. I know you guys live in the county, but just being in Baltimore, whatever. Like, what are you instilling in the kids? Like the values, the goals, being
the dangers.
Yeah,
of the
world
dangers,
with the police and things like that. Did you guys have that conversation with them, like how to move if ever encountering?
So we when all this riot stuff began, teaching them the purpose of why they riding, making sure they understand what's happening. Understand that at the end of the day, there's certain things we just can't do as Black Americans, to be honest with you. The hoods on the heads, walk into a store, take your hat off sometimes so you're visibly seen. Of course, all of us are wearing masks now and things of that nature, but at the same token, when the cops and the authorities are speaking to you, give them the utmost respect, not that we're afraid or scared of them, but at the end of the day, you just want to come home,
right.
and everything. So we definitely talk to our kids. Our kids are definitely unique, because they haven't had the experience that I've had living in the city and things of that nature. Our kids are county kids, and county living is slightly different. Suburban living is just slightly different. Just to be honest with you, we're not even sugarcoat it and everything, but we teach them and give them understanding on what the life rules and goals are, so that they don't wind up, like old Tavon, he's going to be driving soon. You can't have a bunch of buddies in your cars and stuff like that.
Loud music before you're fully trained.
You gotta make sure you're hanging around people that's not going to influence you. You be the leader. We teach them to be the leader, not the follower. Things like that, So we instill in them. We can only do but so much. And, once they get to a certain point in life, they just have to understand who they are.
I'm so glad that you said that, because all you can do is play your part. You can just show them the best role model, and teach them the best advice as possible. Exactly. But once they leave out of your front door,
it's up to them to instill the values, like into, How old are they now?
Tavon is about to be 16.
Wow.
And Tyler just turned 13. He's a teenager.
Shout out to y'all.
They both gonna be entrepreneurs or in the NBA. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Shoot for the NBA.
They bound.
Yes.
This is a great episode,
It was a great
man. Like,
episode.
thank you again very much for fitting us in your busy schedule. Got us up here bright and early. You see, we here at the shop, T&T Auto Detailing. Thank you very much again for letting us come through, shoot with you, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you guys, I said it already. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you drop your comments. If you have any questions for him, if you're trying to start a business, if you have any questions for us, make sure you drop them comments. Turn on that bell notification. And until next time.
We out, baby.